Hello my friends, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We are painting a mountain farm ranch kind of landscape inspired by Amber Artistry. If you haven't checked that, I don't know if it's a male or female, but if you haven't checked him or her out, then I encourage you to do so because their stuff is timeless. It's beautiful. Like anytime their stuff comes up in my suggestions on social media, I'm always very drawn to it. So it's going to be a looser style, so hopefully it's going to be a shorter tutorial in turn. And I'm just trying to figure out how to tackle this. So I've taped the borders of my piece of paper in landscape position. I kind of wish I didn't because it would be nicer if it was just like a loose style rather than having these borders. It's gonna be in portrait position, so let me zoom out a bit. And I'm going to start with like a grassy wash, and I'm gonna try to choose a more muted tone for this because I want it to be, what do I want it to be? Kind of light and effortless. So the mountains are, I should have started with the mountains actually, now that I think of it. Oh well, I already have green on my paintbrush and we all know how that ends. So I'm just going to angle my paintbrush horizontally to the paper, and I was going for a slightly different effect here. Did not really turn out how I wanted it to, but okay, never mind. So I'm just filling the whole thing in with this green, but I am going to go back and like add green accents to have like areas that are darker, lighter, etc., etc. And I'm gonna fade this out so there isn't like this harsh line here, and then we'll paint mountains in a moment. Now I am going to take a brush. Oh, hi, Mommy. And where have you been all day? Okay, sorry, my mom called. When your mom calls, you always have to answer. But I kind of kept painting while talking to her briefly. All I did was I took some darker green tones, and while the background was still wet, I just added some like accents, and then I added some brown accents on top of that, just something to vary this painting up. Now, one thing that I'm seeing now that I wish I had done differently, you can see very faintly, but you can still see it, an abrupt line where my watercolor ends, and that might show through the mountains because I'm going to be painting them on, you know, lightly, because I don't want this to be a very dark painting. So let's just see how this ends up looking like. But those are just some notes that I wanted to make before continuing on. So I'm taking like grayish blue. Gray would work, watered down black would work. Actually scratch that, I'm not taking grayish blue, I'm taking greenish gray. So I just took that original color and I added a little bit of green to it. Because I want it to be gray, but like a warm gray. And you can paint your mountains however you would like. I'm gonna, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna have kind of they're gonna kind of come just below this line here. So I'm gonna have one that starts here, and then it's just going to angle, whoops, that was unintentional, just down like this, and then that is too green. That is too green. I'm gonna add some more gray, and then there's gonna be another one that comes up here, and there's gonna be more like volcanic activity. Pretend I didn't say that because that makes no sense. Yeah, I'm trying to make layers in this limited space. I think if I kept this painting in landscape, it probably would have worked a little bit better, but you know what they say, hindsight is 20/20. So I'm just scribbling this. I didn't want this to be as dark. I wish I watered down my colors a tad bit more. So all I'm doing is wetting, like after I painted the borders of these mountains, I don't like how I did that, but I'm just wetting the paintbrush and extending that paint out. But now I'm trying to lift some of it off, honestly, because it's too dark. I had a kind of a different vision for this, and yeah, it didn't really turn out how I had originally intended it to, but that's okay. It's part of the process, right? We can always go back and touch this up, but they don't really look like mountains, like the kind that I'm going for. I picked up some darker color and just vertically going in with my paintbrush. Ooh, I like this. Okay, I take it back, Grabby. That's the company that these brushes are from. In a couple of earlier videos, I got frustrated with these brushes, and I was like, I don't like these brushes. These brushes suck. They're not for me. But I have to take that back because I think it was user error. Or I just wasn't used to using brushes like this. So I take it back. I like them for specific uses. So yeah, I'm just adding these like vertical brush strokes to the mountains. I want to give a slight indication that there are pine trees or trees of some sort growing on these mountains without going into any major detail. And I think I have achieved that to some extent there. And I'm just smoothing out the bottom here. And I do want to paint, like, what's going to make this whole thing come together is what we kind of paint towards the end, but I don't want to reveal that yet. I mean, unless you saw the thumbnail, then obviously you know, but I want to let these mountains dry, and then we're going to paint some details that, some pine trees that are detailed and you can see up front, just not quite yet because, well, first of all, it has to dry, and second of all, I don't know when to stop with details, according to a viewer, but also myself. Like, I sometimes just go way too into it with the detail. Like, I gotta stop. This is getting too much. So yeah, I'm gonna take a blow dryer to this and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so hopefully this is dry. It's Probably not, because that's how she goes with my paintings. But now that this has dried, I am tempted to go over some of these details a little bit more and add more of those vertical brush strokes, because when it dried, it kind of blended together. So I added a few more, nothing crazy. I do want this to be like a very loose painting, but I've clearly turned it into the opposite of that at this point. Anyhow, I'm grabbing some like blackish green. Okay, and then we're gonna paint some pine trees that just extend onto the mountain range a tiny bit, but they're more in the foreground than the mountains. And we want this to be like extremely simple, like nothing crazy in terms of detail with the pine trees. So I have some vertical brush strokes like so, and then I'm just kind of roughly filling it in. I don't know if this is going to look nice because this is typically not how I do my pine trees. And I'm also using a different paintbrush than I usually use for my pine trees. So far, I'm not really a fan. So maybe just the outside pine tree should have a little bit more detail. Something like that. Not bad. I'm gonna take some brown while I'm at it, and I'm gonna add, like, I don't even know what this would be. A base, shadows, something, so that these trees don't really look like they're floating. I think I overdid it with that, whatever that is, but now I kind of feel the need to add some sort of shrubbery coming from it. The other thing I wanted to do, I'm gonna water down that brown, and I want to add like, I don't even know what this would be. They kind of, in my reference photo, they kind of look like little hay, tumbleweeds. Hay. And that's way too dark, by the way. That is not how dark I wanted these little details. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna blend it out, and to prevent the cauliflower effect, which graces my paintings often, I'm taking a paper towel and just like pressing onto it, and look, it's almost as if it wasn't there. So yay when things work out a little bit. But I'm gonna redo that with, you know what? No, this doesn't look good. I don't know what I was trying to do there. I wanted to add something. You know what? Never mind. Let's forget about the last minute there. I'm gonna just add the thing that I wanted to add here, which is a fence. And that is going to make this whole thing come together, I hope. I hope. I just blended that out a little bit there because I felt like the bottom was a bit harsh, but okay. Our fence. So I usually go with just a classic one post style fence, but you know what? Let's experiment here. Let's test the waters and try something a little more daring, shall we? So I'm gonna do like a crisscross type of fence. So it's gonna look like crisscross. And then there's gonna be one a tad bit higher, crisscross. And then they're gonna get smaller as they move diagonally upwards and closer together. You could even make the post thinner. Like so. And then we have to add the little joining log. So there's going to be one at the top running, connecting each one, and then a few kind of staggered at the bottom. So one like this. And then this to this, right? Boom, 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 boom. As you get towards the thinner ones, you can kind of almost not even have them. Honestly, I think I kind of ruined it. I really don't like how that turned out, guys. So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to potentially ruin this whole painting by trying to lift it off. So I have taken a bigger brush, dipped it in water, and I'm literally just ruining this painting. Because I really didn't like that. And the reason why I'm kind of recovering the entire thing is to prevent the cauliflower effect. So you can still sort of see the little guys, like the little nicks in the fence, but that's okay. I'm gonna now take, hold on. Actually, this should probably dry all right. I'm just gonna take some paper towel and I'm gonna dab just the end where there was no water at all. And as this dries, because we covered the entire thing with water, it has no opportunity to cauliflower into the surrounding areas. But that's why I dabbed the end, because if I didn't dab the end, then the end might cauliflower, okay? So I'm gonna blow dry this, and then we're gonna do my classic fence that I know I can do properly. Awesome, so that's almost as if we hadn't made that horrible mistake. And so let's just do what I always do, which is a single posted fence. Oh, it looks like it's not totally dry yet. Classic Julia. But I tried, I experimented, I tried something new, but you know, sometimes you just gotta stick with what you know works and looks nice. So when you're painting your fence, try to keep the top in line and just shorten the bottom of each post. It doesn't have to be like that to a T, but that's the general guideline that you want to follow. So, and you know what, I'm also going to add a fence in the distance, like here. And I'm just gonna connect very roughly this fence. But this one, obviously, it's gonna be a little more that looks so much better in my opinion, guys. I don't know about you, but let me know what you think about that. I'm gonna just add little, I took very watered down green. I don't like the green though, I'm gonna switch to watered down brown and just add little shadows to these fence posts. And if you're feeling extra experimenty, you can add little grassy details coming from the fence post base. I'm gonna have some random grass kind of coming from the corner. Just to add something, I don't know. Maybe add little fine grassy details. I think I'm gonna stop there because I like how this looks. And actually, sorry, one more thing. I'm gonna darken one side of these posts. Because if the sun is coming from this side, then the left side will be brighter than the back side, and that's why the shadow is coming on this side as well. Totally optional, but it's those little details that I think really make a painting pop. Okay, I think that's it. So the last thing you can do is peel the tape off to reveal a nice painting. There's always one side that gets stuck. There we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Please let me know what you think. Let me know if you liked the correction there or if you preferred the old fence. And subscribe, like this video, and I will see you in the next tutorial.